low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope.
What's up, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. My co-host and guest will be with us momentarily, but first, of course, I want to make a special shout-out to our sponsor, Gunslinger Soap. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all the junk to pamper your skin. You can go to their website, gunslingersoap.com, and sign up to get 15% off of your first order, and always free shipping over $30. That's gunslingersoap.com. Definitely check them out. And I'm going to bring in next my co-host with the most pedophilia accusations that haven't been proven. Dan the Dick Warner is with us.
Hey,
this evening, buddy. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you guys?
Oh, man, this is going to be a good conversation. This week, we're going to be talking about the minor league baseball players attempting to unionize. We're going to go into some detail here. But first, I have a couple of experts that are going to help us talk this out. He played for the Sacramento River Cats, an affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. He is also a good buddy of mine that has had the unfortunate task of hearing me sing at karaoke on a regular basis. My buddy Jake Briones is with us this evening. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Yay! Welcome to the show, sir.
Somebody that has actually played the minors is going to be educating us this evening, and so I'm definitely excited for his intake. But, of course, I can't forget.
Though, okay? It's 20 years ago.
Yeah. I know. You know, athletes don't remember much.
Seven, and he's got that. And he's got that Anaheim Angels hat on.
That's.
I know.
God damn it. And of course, my co-host on the winter meetings, my good buddy, former baseball writer for MLB Trading Card Magazine, Craig Newton is with us this evening. What's up, buddy?
Craig.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Thank you for joining us, sir. Dan asked about you all the time. I think he might be in love with you.
just man. It's just a man love, you know.
It's a man crush.
Yeah. One aspiring failed sports writer to one successful sports writer.
So as we get started tonight, quick intro on what we're going to be talking about. So on Monday, it was announced by the MLB Players Association that they had sent union cards to all or to most minor league players, about 5,000 members, for a vote to unionize. They also absorbed the staff of a couple of charities that were advocating for minor league baseball players, including the Advocates for Minor Leaguers. They are now working on the MLBPA staff and will be part of the staff for the union that the minor leaguers end up getting once the process is complete. The cards going out, what all that means is that it's a vote. If at least 50% of the players vote to unionize, the league does have the choice to voluntarily accept it, or it can go through a whole process. With at least 30% accepting, it can go to an actual full election. There's a lot of things that can be said here as far as the things that can help, the things that can come from this, as far as better pay, better, housing situations, more support when it comes to things like equipment, taking care of the laundry, stuff like that. But, I also think that there may be some other things that we may not be thinking of that can help. So, Jake, I'm going to go ahead and let you take this first, buddy. What are some things that you think this can help as far as the players are concerned?
I would honestly say, just based upon my situation, what happened was the medical side.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, because when I was playing, and what ended me leaving, or not leaving, but not being able to play anymore, was of my torn rotator cuff. And that, you don't get paid much. I mean, you're sitting average, I don't know, about $2,000 at that time, somewhere around there. A month, it's really not much at all. And that type of surgery was not cheap. So it really affected it because they didn't cover much of anything dependent on the type of injury that it was. Mine happened to be, so when I was 16, I played second base, and they hit a ball between first and second. Pitcher stayed on the mound like a dumbass. So, yeah. Caught the ball because first baseman got the ball. Yeah, so I was running towards the bag, of course, not literally being able to see where the bag's at because I'm trying to get the ball from the first baseman. And me and the runner collide. So I fell, got back up, motherfucker was safe. And so when I went back, and I was just like, I was in a little bit of pain. So I went and I moved my arm and it cracked. And I was like, shit. Because the way I landed, as soon as we hit, I landed basically smashing my arms or my shoulders. And so I finished the rest of that inning. But when I got back up, when I went up to bat, I'm also a switch hitter, so I was batting lefty. And as soon as I swung,
me too, Jake, in a different way.
God damn it, Dan.
And when I swung it, I heard pop. But what happened at that point is I actually had broken my collarbone from it, and didn't realize that there was an actual slight tear in my rotator cuff. So
you would.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying is so. Yeah, they got I thought it was just my collarbone, but it wasn't. It wasn't just the clavicle that broke. It happened to have that tear. So, I'm wearing things, of course, so it's actually healing. The rotator cuff was kind of healing on its own, but it didn't heal right. So they kind of used that against me when it came down to having to get surgery and saying that it was never properly taken care of the first time. So that it was like a form of pre-existing injury that didn't happen with it. So they used that against me. And so when it came down to coverage-wise, I didn't get covered much at all of anything.
So you're looking for the unionization to benefit the medical side of it, because that seems like should be number one for everybody, right? I mean, that's
absolutely
keeping players healthy, keeping players on the field, keeping players in the best situation to succeed. Obviously, you want 100% out of everybody. So that's a given. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Because it does help. Because, after that, you don't make shit. So
right. Did you have to have a day job?
Yeah. Well, no, I
Two?
didn't. The nice thing I didn't, and that was only because me and 3 other guys moved out there from out of high school.
Right.
So, because I was going to play ball in Oklahoma for the Sooners, but I turned that down because that's when I got picked out to go play AAA there in California. So that's when I was like, fuck yeah, I'd rather do that. That's much faster than going through college.
Right.
So that's what I did. And then, 6 months after I was in there, I was basically done because then, couldn't pay for much of anything after that. That's when I ended up having to get a side job and having to actually get a work done, and at the same time being fucking injured. And then it just,
Such a pivotal decision too out of high school, right? I mean, to decide whether to go to college. Oh, I'm sure, but hindsight being 2020, like you can't beat yourself up about that. Who knows? You might've went to Oklahoma, just started partying and on a houseboat or something, and just been and not even tried to, I feel like you would focus more if that was just your job at high school.
Yeah.
I would think, right? I mean,
it did. It was because that's what it was. It was a job. It was a game that I loved to play, but it was also my job. So,
right.
Because seriously, out of when I was, before I went into high school, I didn't even live in the same school district because this school that they wanted me. So they literally allowed me to not go to my district school and actually went to their school.
They recruited you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I screwed that up. I was a freshman in high school going to a new place. My ass got hooked on acid, which was
the old LSD strikes again.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for legalization, bro.
Eat me and
right.
My coach was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Get the fuck off my field.
You figured out who your baseball spirit animal was. It was like a flying Randy Johnson. And you felt the hands of 1,000 baseball ancestors all cuddling you.
Seriously, no, that thing.
I hear you, man.
It wanted to eat me. I've
done my fair share of the old LSD. Hey, legalize, free your mind.
Oh God.
Craig, have you ever done LSD?
No.
You've never done LSD, Craig?
No.
Why not? Why?
He's a medic. He knows better. Okay, so let's get back to the real Big J journalist.
Well, the thing is that it did, though. I can honestly say one thing acid did do that was good for me was my artistic side of things.
Absolutely.
In school, in my high school, we only had 4 classes a day, and each one was 2 hours. You had your 2 electives and your 2 regular. And my art class, I was up into art 4. I didn't know about. I barely ever sold paintings or anything like that. I did it mainly for the fun side of things. But my teacher's like, we need something of you, for your senior art show. And I was like, okay, what? And she's like, I don't know, pick something. She tells me to pick. And I was like, I don't know. I told her to do it. So she picked out a 3 foot by 3 foot self-portrait.
Oh yeah.
And an older lady bought it at the art show for $1,500.
Float down a green river.
Yeah, for a fucking picture of my face. And I was like, okay, now I know I was all popped up on shit when all this stuff was going through my head and what was coming out on paint, on this canvas. But
it just looked like the Fear and Loathing Hunter S. Thompson, where it's all like, like fucking, and you're like, it's like this is. And anytime
I do paint now, I have to be in a different state of mind. I have to drink. I have to have my room by myself and loud music, and but
you don't technically have to, but it probably makes you feel more.
It puts me in that state of mind where I'm
more art moodish.
Sure, that's part of his process, Dan.
It's a process. I get it.
So okay, and Craig, from your experience and what you've seen, because obviously you saw a lot, especially in the 80s and 90s. What do you think this outside of pay? We'll say outside of pay itself. What do you think of the biggest impact is going to be for what these guys are doing?
Well, I agree that medical is going to be greatly improved. That they'll be able to add additional medical staff. I mean, in Class A minor leagues, I mean, you have maybe a guy that is getting season tickets to be your doctor. Unless you're affiliated with a major league team. when the Giants were not the Giants, or the San Jose Bees in an independent league. I mean, I don't know who the guy was that was handling the medical, but I think it was like a trainer wannabe. I'm not really sure, but definitely medical will greatly improve. Travel will improve.
He had watched a ton of Hard Knocks.
Huh?
He had watched a ton of Hard Knocks on HBO. He just ran around with like a med kit. It's like he was just like, yeah, they're like, I broke my pinky. He's like, let's stretch that calf out. Let's stretch that calf out.
I just remember a lot of bus trips when I followed the team for a year with ice packs. That was pretty much the answer. It was ice packs, or heat, and that was it. There was nothing really more advanced than that. So I mean, this will open up more jobs, I think, for young trainers that want to work legit in minor leagues. It's going to be great for the minor leagues. It's going to be great for the fans of minor league baseball, and it's going to be really good when we get ready to talk about the topic about how this is really going to throw a wrench in 2 years from now when the negotiations come up again with the Major League Baseball Players Association and Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's going to cut? Do you think it's going to cut the amount of minor league teams and minor league systems down? It has to. There's no way that they can all unionize. There's too many of them.
No, I mean there's about 5,000 players.
I don't see why they can't keep what they've got. I mean, no, I don't see it cutting down in minor leagues at all. I mean, they've already cut a bunch of teams already because of the results of COVID and all that stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
No, you've got too many ball players that the major leagues, that have invested a lot of in at all
They're
levels.
Constantly looking.
At all levels, constantly looking.
How many minor league teams are there, Greg?
Oh God!
I think there's what it is now is there's 2 for each team.
2 for each.
Oh.
Yeah, they cut it down or 3 for each team. No, because there's a single, a double, and a triple A.
So there's 270 roundabout.
Well, the Giants have got their rookie league in Everett. They've got the Shreveport is their low class A, or I'm sorry, double A.
God, there's like multiple ones.
They've got the Class A San Jose Giants, which is high Class A for Cal League. And then you've got Sacramento. I mean, but
Craig, that is too many teams.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not. They take guys regularly off of the single A bad team, or is that just like to warm up their bullpen catchers and stuff?
No. Single. That's where Buster Posey got started, and Bumgarner and all kind of stuff. It's legit. The Cal League is a legit league.
But couldn't you just start them at single? Like whatever happened to single A, double A, triple A?
That is single A, Class A.
But you said that there's a low triple, a single A. There's a high single A.
There's rookie league and there's low A. Yeah, in Shreveport. So,
but okay. So they also have a double A team. They also have a double A team and a triple A team.
Yes.
Yeah, double A, triple A. Yep, the triple A team's in Sacramento. And they were in Fresno as the Grizzlies, but then the Houston Astros took over that Fresno franchise. So their AAA Astros team is in Fresno, and the A's moved their AAA to Las Vegas, and so they've got the A's place is now occupied by the Giants for AAA.
Interesting. It's a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's
really not. It really is.
It's not a lot. It seems like a lot, but it's not when you look at how many different locations there are, because there's not that many locations that have teams.
So like baseball is so like I understand how skillful a game that it is. Is it so skillful that it's probably necessary to have that many levels to move up in, right? I mean, that's basically what that's for, right?
Yeah.
So that you can shade up into the major leagues. Like you're basically shading very slowly. There's not like a jump and then a jump, like, because in football you got high school, college, the pros. Those are the jumps. That's it.
But college is minor league football.
Minor league football.
Don't kid yourself that
bro. Listen. but there's not Nebraska, Nebraska Tech, Nebraska single A, Nebraska low single A, Nebraska Fresno, Nebraska Sacramento, Nebraska triple A, Nebraska. There's not all those. Like they just have one level that everybody plays at, and then you go to the pros. That's my question. Like, why is there so many levels of
because it's a numbers it's a numbers game. It's a constant numbers game.
Think of how many players are on a team too.
Yeah.
And you can be there for a month and get thrown right back down to fucking double A. You can be there for a whole entire season, and the following season you just got shot back down.
Yep.
But there's way more professional baseball players than there is any other sport.
Yeah.
You have to have that many.
Yeah.
That's my question. Why?
Well, because there needs to be.
Something can happen at any time. When it comes down to you just throwing a ball wrong, that's gone.
There's so
many things that you have to look at when it comes down to. So, I mean, in my case, I was done, and it just took a throwing of a ball that completely tore the shit out of it, and it tore the actual shoulder part back from the back. So when they actually had to put everything back together, I was done. Even now, by me rotating my arm, it just.
I understand that, but at the same time, the NFL doesn't have a minor league. I mean, yeah, it kind of does, I guess. But like they kind of do, but like no, they don't really pull from that at all. They obviously they pull from college football, which is their minor leagues. I understand that, but like they don't have any minor leagues, and that's football. So like, yeah, you could just put your ankle wrong and it's done. You're done.
True.
There is, some, and you are right. There are a lot more when it comes to baseball. But one of the things to remember is the roster size for a Major League Baseball team is 26 players. And so you've got a decent little size there, but then you've got your 40-man, which is basically the rest of your AAA team and a few others that are close. And then your double, and that's your professional team. AAA ball players, most of those guys can hang in the pros if you need them to. So that's your.
I'm actually complimenting
third string.
I'm actually complimenting baseball players by saying that there needs to probably be that. You guys are saying there needs to be that many levels because because the skills have to be so honed that like you have to go through that many levels of it before you play in the show because. There's like, it's just the hand-eye coordination. Like in basketball, dudes go straight from high school to the NBA all the time. Here's why. Because in basketball, you can defend in the NBA just being an athlete. There's nobody in professional baseball who can just catch major league pitchers. Does that make sense? Who can just hit the curveball in the major leagues. Am I making sense right now?
Right. Very few can, but also remember, only less than 1% of the minor league players make it to the pros. I mean, it seems like there's a lot because they're always coming up, and they're always making a big splash. But with all the minor league players out there, less than 1% of them are coming up and having a career that lasts over 3 years.
Yep.
So I'll play the other end of that coin, Craig, and ask you this. Why have so many leagues then? Why wouldn't you just have the three basic ones? And then if you're not good enough to play to move up in those levels, like you start at single A, and if you're not good enough to move to double A, then that's it. Like why are
you're talking about kids though? Like he was. I'm sorry. What's your name again, sir? I'm sorry.
Jake.
Jake. I'm sorry, Jake. Nice to meet you. You were 16, right?
I was 16 when I got injured. When I when I did with the AAA, I was right out of high school.
Okay, yeah. So it's a numbers game. Those kids, they're just kids. They've got a lot to learn, and some are going to learn it at a faster rate, and some are never going to learn it, and they're going to be out.
Craig, but aren't the ones who are gonna learn it and play professional baseball just gonna learn it? That's gonna happen.
If I'll give you the answer to that. If I could go out and see that kid has got it, that kid's got it, I'd be a multimillionaire scout. Okay,
I understand,
it's a numbers game. It's always going to be a numbers game. That's why they have so many different leagues.
It's hard to predict how somebody's going to develop
in baseball.
in baseball, because
particularly that's what I'm saying.
When you think about because I know, like, you were talking about the difference between like high school, like you were kind of alluding, like the difference for football with high school, college, and the pros, and the jump for those levels. The difference is going to be which it is huge. The difference is going to be with baseball. There's not as many jumps. You get the ladder because some guys benefit from the ladder than the specific jump. Because and sometimes that value, because like there's been guys that didn't get called up until their late 20s that while they had a shorter Major League Baseball career, they had a huge impact, and it's because they got that time to develop. And so a lot of these leagues, like you're not gonna, these the owners aren't investing in these leagues because they want to make a profit off of the minor leagues. They're investing in it because they're looking at what they're going to be able to get out of that in the long run with the 1% of guys that actually make it through that process. But it's just basically another college league.
Right.
For most of these guys, it's just a secondary college league where they don't have to go to school.
Take, for example...
Go ahead, Craig.
Take, for example, the Giants just traded for Lewis Brinson, outfielder. That was
from the Marlins?
He was a can't miss 5-tool player. He was Baseball America's top 50 prospects, and then again top 100 prospects, and he is yet to sniff a full season in Major League Baseball. Right. He's doing quite well in the minor league level, but I mean, that's how hard it is. I mean, I'm sure Jake has said it's hard. It's a hard sport to play. It's a hard game to play.
Well,
because there's always somebody trying to take your job.
There's always somebody
that's going to be better than you, that's coming up right behind you.
Yep. Craig, this is my point, though. That's the same in the NFL. That's the same in the NBA. It's really fucking hard. But my point is, baseball is so skill-driven that it is not based in athleticism as much as it is in the hand-eye coordination and the skills. No, it's not.
No, these baseball players.
I know they're great athletes, bro.
Very athletic.
Bro, I know they're athletic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you can't go straight from high school to Major League Baseball. Usually, I know there's outliers, but a lot of guys go straight to high school to the NBA, and there's no less people who want to play in the NBA than there is want to play Major League Baseball, right?
Of course.
So this guy can basically. What I'm saying is, like, the baseball players are more skilled as far as their sport and the specifics that it takes to play their sport than any other sport is. And that's why all those levels are there. So I'm defending baseball players by saying that they're skilled. It's not as based as a game in athleticism as basketball or football is, because I know guys who can go straight from high school to the NBA and they can just defend, dude. They just athletically
they don't do anything other than just block.
They can athletically play in the NBA, right?
Shaquille O'Neal, motherfucker, couldn't shoot a free throw.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal was very skilled for a big man, but at the same time, he was just huge too.
He was just a huge guy. But that was like one of his things. You give him the ball, he'll slam dunk it. You can't shoot for shit. Right. Well, he wasn't a shooter, but obviously he didn't need to be. He was 7'1", 350. But but I get what you're saying. But yes, because there's so many. When it comes down to baseball, you have to have a lot of fucking talent to hit a ball going that fast. Is fucking ridiculous. To hit a ball that can break in the last second. At the last second, right on you. I mean, that thing looks like it's coming right at your head and then just breaks strike. Like, your timing is insane. You have to be quick. You have to time that ball from that leaving that hand and you swinging that bat at the perfect time to get a base hit. And actually, and that's when you see a lot of these pros. They can. I mean, my gosh, he's like Chipper Jones. He's my favorite player. Motherfucker. He's a switch hitter as well, and he can hit and place a ball where he wants to place it. That's fucking talent.
We regularly say on this show, Jake. We regularly say on this show that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in professional sports. We regularly say that.
No question.
It's the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest skill to do in professional sports, right?
I mean, hell, even being a pitcher and having that ball come right back at your head 120 miles an hour.
So that kind of shows you like how skilled it is. And when I say hardest thing to do, I'm not going to say that, running your own fast break and tomahawking it from the third block is not hard to do, right? But they didn't just, like nobody goes out and goes, oh, that's a skillful play. That's not a skillful play. That dude's just a freak athlete. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Stephen Curry is there's outliers to this rule. Stephen Curry's very skilled. Obviously, a lot of guys in the NBA are skilled. I think it takes longer to hone baseball skills than it does other sports because it's not as based in athleticism. I'm not saying they're not athletic. I'm saying it's not as based in just raw athleticism.
It is more skill based than athleticism based.
Clearly not. Rowdy Tellez, Craig. I see you down there, Craig. I can't even see your face, but I can see you just fucking smirking at me. I can fucking feel your animosity for what I'm saying right now. But I have a couple examples for you. Rowdy Tellez, okay, Prince Fielder. You want me to keep going? CC Sabathia, Bartolo Colon. Would you like me to keep going? Do you know where I'm getting with this?
No.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah.
Rowdy Tellez.
Where are you going?
These are all bigger guys. It's not about their athleticism. It is about their skill at the plate or on the mound. That is why they're a professional baseball.
They're very skilled.
For big,
they ain't winning. They ain't winning a race
athletic.
against LeBron. They ain't winning a race. They ain't winning a race against me right now. Foot race. I could beat Rowdy Tellez in a foot race right now.
But
that's athleticism, speed, quickness, size, strength. That's athleticism. Those are raw athletic talents. Skills are a whole different thing. Rowdy Tellez is obviously far more skilled than I am at baseball. Far, far more, like in a different galaxy. But I could beat him in a foot race.
Don't mind my wife coming in. She just
you know what I'm saying?
I'm here. I listen. I'm listening.
But
I've seen these bigger players, and they were very athletic. They're very flexible.
Craig, they play a professional sport. They're very athletic. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're not. I'm separating athleticism and skill at this point, and I'm not calling them not athletic. I think that you're combining their skills in with their athleticism. I'm just saying raw athletic talent. As far as because if you actually define athleticism, it's size, speed, and strength. There's no skill involved to it. It's just how fast can you run, how high can you jump, how high can you jump, and how strong are you for how big you are. That's athleticism. There's nothing more to it. It's just that's raw athleticism. Like you don't have to be a raw freak athlete to play in Major League Baseball.
True.
There's plenty of pitchers out there that can throw a ball over 100 miles an hour and can't even come near fucking hitting it. I understand.
those are skills, though. Those are that's where I'm defining. Those are skills.
And that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's you can be athletic for your size, but it's not athleticism that you're relying on for what you're doing.
Max Fried weighs 175 pounds. I mean, Tim Lincecum was like what, 5'7"?
Yep.
Right? 5'7", about 140 soaking wet, and it just torque, bro. That's a skill. He was not a great athlete naturally.
Trust me, I saw him in the clubhouse. That guy was muscle from head to toe. He was muscle. Believe it or not, he was yoked.
David Wells.
Not yoked.
Not yoked. Bartolo Colon was not yoked.
Not yoked. No.
Who's the dude that plays for the Padres now? No, he did play for the Padres. He got traded. Huge dude. I think he's on the Mets. He's on the Mets now. He plays for the Mets. He's huge, dude. Lefty hitter. Hang on, I'll look it up. But Craig, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, though.
I'm thinking of Vogelbach from the Pirates.
Vogelbach. No, he plays for the Mets now.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the Mets. And he's actually doing very well with the Mets, too.
Yes. Yeah, he plays first for the Mets. He weighs...
If I had a nickname for him, it'd be Beer League. I mean, he's very talented, but I look at him as like, Beer League. That's your nickname. Yeah,
he looks like a Beer League softball player. He really does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Craig, that is all I'm saying, Craig. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's very skilled, dude. Like, he's very skilled. I get it, but like, he's not a great athlete. You know, he's not. 6'2", 270 is what he's listed at.
So that my next question is going to be, as we talk about, the MLBPA unionizing minor league players. The way that they said it was going to work was it was going to be like the MLBPA is going to be supporting the minor league player union, but they are their own table. They're not getting a seat at the table with the major league guys. It's their own deal, their own CBA. Okay. But they're going to be providing financial support, guidance, resources, stuff like that. But when we look at this, obviously something like this is going to have an impact on professional baseball as a whole for all of those levels before the majors. When we look at the international markets, when we look at the independent minor league teams like the Atlantic and stuff like that, like where the Savannah Bananas play, this is something that has a rippling effect because obviously it changes the standard for the industry. So do you guys think that, and Craig, since I haven't really gotten to tee much off to you yet, I'll let you take this one first. What are the fringe impacts that you can see for the lower levels of baseball once this goes through?
Okay, let me double check what you just said. So they're not going to be under the MLB Players Association contract at all.
No,
they're not joining the MLBPA.
It's its own entity that is like a that's under the MLBPA umbrella. So their own contracts, their own union staff and president and all of that. But it's just the MLB. It's like a sub company basically.
So there's no licensing deals then with the MLBPA then.
I haven't seen anything about it. No. Because
that's the angle I was coming from is like starting with the basics. I mean, Prestige company signed this huge contract with Major League Baseball Players Association to produce the baseball cards going into next. I think it starts next year, or the year after. They took the contract away from Topps, and that put a bunch of millions of dollars into the coffers of the MLB Players Association.
It's probably what's funding this.
Yeah.
Craig, did you say Prestige or Panini?
Prestige.
It's Prestige.
But Prestige is a subset of Panini.
Well, I've only heard Prestige. I've not heard anything about Panini.
It's Panini Prestige. Yeah, they're gonna take. Yeah, it's Panini's the mother company.
Okay. Well,
They're taking more from Topps.
Everybody I talked to they're saying Prestige first, not Panini. So.
Right. They are Prestige cards. Like basically, Panini bought all of those, and then they just basically like made them like they made them. They're their own thing still, but like Panini's like the over top. Like Panini's like the Topps of them. Does that make sense? Like it's like Topps Chrome. Like Chrome is like its own separate thing. I guess it would be an example. It's a bad example, but Prestige is like its own thing. Yeah, they're like Prestige cards. Yeah. But,
okay. Well,
sorry, I didn't mean to go off subject. But
no.
I like cards.
I appreciate the clarification. But as a matter of fact, I've got a question into a friend of mine who used to be a photographer for Topps. His job was to go out and get the players signed to a Topps contract in the minor leagues. So for when they came up to the bigs, they would have that contract already in hand, and they would have the licensing rights to take pictures of the player in a major league uniform. So I asked him how this is going to affect the contract basis of these players, and as soon as I hear back from him, I'll let you know what he says.
Awesome.
He did it for 18 years. So, but I went into this with the idea that it was MLBPA was taking over the minor leagues, bringing these guys in under their contract agreement with Major League Baseball. If that's not the case, then I'm kind of a little lost as to how this is going to affect them, because I was thinking, card rights, likeness rights, all that stuff would be at a major league level for these kids, but it doesn't sound like it's happening at a major league level.
I don't think it is, but I think that the MLBPA is going to be supporting them and getting those things going, because that's obvious revenue that's coming in that they can utilize. And so I would assume that those are, I would think that that's something that's going to come after they get unionized, get the first CBA in and actually done. And then they'll start looking at things like likeness rights or, name rights for the cards and stuff like that, because they would be stupid to not try and capitalize on that. At least I would think.
Well, absolutely, and especially if that would benefit the major league players, because they need an answer when they come back 2 years from now for the negotiations. They're going to have some leverage, because right now they have no leverage whatsoever.
It gives them a seat at the table. I think it's an interesting seat at the table in this, but with them being under the MLBPA, I think it still impacts the way that they have going into those negotiations.
I hope so, because I'm pro player. I'm not pro management. I'm not pro owners.
Right.
I'm disgusted with them. Disgusted with the commissioner. No, I'm pro player all the way.
Craig, if you're not pro player in this fucking podcast, you can get the fuck out. You can get the fuck out of here. Hey, I've seen both. Hey, I don't know if this helps any, Craig, but I've seen both. This is a Topps Chrome shitty card. But I've seen both reserved rights of Major League Baseball and reserved rights of Major League Baseball Players Association on the back of different brands of cards.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would they do that? So Topps has a deal with actual Major League Baseball apparently, and then Panini and like all of their subsets have with the Players Association. Like, I'm asking the question. I don't really know.
I think it was the other way around, but now Panini has the deal with the MLBPA. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The deal with them starts with the MLBPA next year. So I think that maybe Topps has a deal with Major League Baseball. I don't know.
Right. With the owners, and they do it like they would do their merchandise any other way. Right. I mean, that's in their likeness anyway.
I don't know. All I know is that going forward, when Topps loses that contract, it's going to be they'll be the exclusive rights owners to the likenesses of the players and the teams and the logos and everything else that they've paid for going forward to produce the cards.
Topps will or Prestige will?
No, Prestige will. Topps
Prestige will. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely Panini, because Luka Doncic became the first athlete ever to completely reserve his likeness for a trading card company, and it's Panini. Panini owns Luka Doncic cards. Everyone, they basically own all of his pictures and uniforms and everything. Topps basically doesn't make any NBA cards ever anymore, or Fleer or anything. No. That's all Panini now. It's all Panini, and they swooped in and took all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, weird, crazy stuff. But Bowman, right? Yeah. Bowman is an individual card company, and Bowman actually gets. I know Bowman has some kind of weird thing with minor league players, because the first rookie card of every dude ever, basically, it's called a Bowman First. And that's actually the exclusive one, right? So Mike Trout had a 2009 Bowman card, and he was a rookie in 2011. You know what I'm saying? So like they had his minor league likeness, and that fucking 2009 Mike Trout. If you get an auto Bowman's First of Mike Trout, I don't even give a shit if it's like anything special. If you just have the normal one, $500. You have an auto, $15,000. That 2009 card, because it's like 2 years before he was in a rookie. So it'd be a good thing to get out on, but it's gonna be one out of every 5,000 guys is gonna be worth that much, if that. So I have a Stefan Wever autograph card. It's pretty fucking cool. Autographed it himself, confirmed it.
Yes,
on the show. Actually, Craig confirmed it before he did.
It better not be the one I gave Stefan.
No, I
bought one.
Okay.
I bought his rookie, and I bought his rookie with the Sounders or whatever, and I bought.
That's what I gave him. Yeah.
Dude, I have his auto on the gift. I have his auto on the back of a Joker card from a New York Yankees deck.
Yeah,
not a joke.
That too. Yeah.
Do you? Okay, that's fucking awesome.
No. I found those for Stefan, and I gave them to him.
Oh yeah. No, I bought them off the internet. I bought them from Stefan. Right. Unless Stefan's slinging his own merchandise on.
No, really, for beer money or something.
Right. It was like $3. Yeah, just Pete Rose sign mode. That's how Craig made all of his money. He just got Pete Rose in sign mode one day, Jake.
Oh, God.
And like when Pete Rose gets in sign mode, he basically just goes like he kind of has like a little mini stroke, and he just starts signing stuff. And Craig was just putting stuff in front of him, like whatever he had in his pockets, just getting Pete Rose autographs. He's got them backed up.
The most worthless autograph there is on the market is a Pete Rose autograph.
I don't know about all that.
They're flooded. They're flooded.
Oh, there is a lot.
There is a lot. It is. So do you think that this could? So my next question would be with this. Do you guys think this could hurt the international market at all? Because I know that there was even some deliberations with the last CBA about starting an international draft that fell through. But is the minor league players unionizing? Is that something that can affect the international market as far as like, down in the like Dominican Republic and all of those other teams in Latin American countries and all
the good players
overseas?
Are?
Yeah. Is it something that can impact that?
No.
Why not?
No. Because the major league, for example, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, they all have headquarters in the Dominican Republic. They all have headquarters in Japan now, in Korea. Brilliant. And the thing is, the days of a player, sneaking by other major league clubs, those days are gone, man. I mean, these players in Asia and in South America and stuff, everybody knows about them.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to sign them, and right at age of 14, 15, 16 years old. I mean, the Dodgers were the first major league team to see the value of setting up an actual baseball camp in Latin America long before other teams started doing it. But yeah, these players in Asia and other markets, no, this won't affect them at all because there's still going to be high commodities.
If I was a GM, Craig, if you're a Rodriguez or a Franco or a Marte, I want you on my team. Let's get you up here. Let's get your kids playing too. They got some talent. I'm telling you, man. It's the Martinez is
the Martinez.
I'm wanting a bunch of Martinez's.
So I mean
Acuñas.
So obviously one of the questions that we have to ask is there any reasons that are actually outside of benefiting the owners, because nobody gives a shit about that. Outside of the benefits to the owners, is there any reason why guys would consider not voting to unionize?
I can't think of one.
They're going to do it, right?
They're going to.
Yeah.
It's the better way of going to actually get somewhere, actually get something out of what you're doing at that age,
right?
At that level.
Well said.
I agree. And I just asked that question because, you always got to, when you're thinking about something, you're looking at a situation, you want to always think about the one side that you like, that you connect with. Everybody always wants to hear what they want to hear. But I like to take a look at stuff from the other side, the other shoes. Like outside of the financial benefits to the owners of not unionizing, are there any benefits? Are there any negative impacts to something like this? Is this going to mean less opportunities? What are some of the things that could be hurt that are there now by it? So that's the only reason I asked, just because you want to make sure you're thinking about all sides, because there's the league's going to be trying to be like, hey, you really don't want to do this. You can advocate for yourself. That fucking Walmart speech.
They give you the tools to be your own boss, Seven. That's why me and Seven are so good together, Craig, because he's actually a decent person and I'm a complete piece of shit. So we get it's a very balanced. Exactly. It's a very balanced, and nobody ever knows who it is. He might be the piece of shit sometimes. Who knows?
Well, we do kind of trade it off. I think we're just in preparation for being the next grumpy old men. Like they'll do the 5th reboot when we're like 80, and it'll be he and I just saying horrible shit back and forth to each other, and it'll never make it to the screen because they're like, yeah, we can't show people this.
We can't say that. Like back when we had to use laptops for our podcast. Yeah.
I want to know why I wasn't notified ahead of time to wear some sunglasses for this show.
That is 100%
I
my
told
fault.
you, Craig. I said get the fucking sunglasses in the group chat. I actually said it. I said.
Oh yes. Okay.
I
thought you were joking.
I was not. Don't ever think I'm joking, Craig.
No, this
I will
started.
say
He's a
100%
very
serious.
serious. He's
Very
a serious
Craig.
journalist, Craig. He's a serious
Very
journalist.
Very big J serious journalist. I have like 8 credit hours of journalism. All right? I went to class like 6 times. Okay. I majored in it for a half of a year, Craig. A half of a year.
Majored in journalism for half a semester. Calm down,
Respect-
Paul Shore.
Respect the big J. Go ahead.
Dan, the first thing I did when I sold my first article, and it was published in the magazine, is I brought it back to my old high school, to my journalism teacher, who thought he said I would never make it as a writer, and I gave it to him, signed it to him, and he had me speak to the next 2 classes. That's revenge, buddy.
Absolutely. That's just
revenge.
That's how you do it, really.
Best served cold, baby. I'd have put some rocks in that magazine, rolled it up, and just walked in and just had a rubber band around that motherfucker. And been like, who can't fucking write now?
I was like, here's the check, and here's your own very copy of the magazine. Enjoy.
That's awesome.
So,
just have it all.
yeah.
Be like, it's gonna be worth money someday.
Save this for a while, and you'll be able to retire.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's Craig's biggest weapon. It's an endless inkwell.
So
so I guess the final question as we talk about this topic, how long do you think that this whole process is actually gonna take? Jake, I'll let you take this from this one first.
That probably won't take good. It's gonna take another couple years, honestly.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Greg, what do you think?
A couple of years, really?
I think.
Oh
so.
yeah.
Well, the CBA negotiations themselves are going to take a while.
Yeah.
When's the next?
By the
when's
time
the
they
next
actually get everything together, and then to actually be able to, I mean, just even when you look at just a company going in, just a standard company, the way they have to work and actually build themselves, it takes years just to do that. The company I work with right now, it's a company called Run Buggy, an independent company. And now we have a little over 100 employees, but I mean, it took them 5 years, and it's a company that literally outsources transport for vehicles. But it's the same thing. I mean, you can look at it as by the time numbers are put together, by the time it's all actually connected and announced and brought out, and yeah, it takes forever.
Well,
yeah,
Tony,
I honestly do say it will take 2 years, about 2 years to actually fully get it.
Tony Clark was interviewed by Sports Illustrated, and he said that where they're at now has been in process for over 2 years. So it has taken over 2 years to get to where they're at now. And they said, and he also said in that interview that the impacts of COVID on the minor league system actually egged this on and put this and sped up. And he's like basically said in the interview, sped up the process for this happening. So I honestly, I think he could be right. I think, I think years.
Craig, you're also forgetting who they're going against. They're going against the MLB owners, bro.
MLB owners.
30 of the most powerful white men in the free world.
Screw them.
Dude, okay, well, you can say screw them all day, but they have the billions. They're the 1%. Like, yeah, fuck those motherfuckers. I hate all of them. I literally hope all of them die on their cruises. But
damn it, Dan.
Or whatever they do, or getting their massages. But dude, they're good. That's why it's gonna take so long too. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going against like some money, bro, and some guys who don't want them to unionize.
So then, well, my thought is this then: for these players that have now got these cards that they're signing to return back for unionizing, by the time this is all finally finalized, I mean, Jake, you know darn well, 90% of the people that are signing these cards will be out of baseball in 2 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So it's all just for the future.
Yeah, so just for the future.
Kids. And that's when you got to look at it that way, because like if I like when I was playing, you played for shit. You don't make much anything out of anything, but you're doing it as a job, and it's a sport you love. That's the only reason why I gave up baseball. My woman tells me that all the time. Oh, if you had just gone, you could have played baseball at Oklahoma and then took it somewhere. I
can't
possibly
do that to yourself.
But,
you can't live on that feeling.
Yeah,
no. Hindsight is always 2020. Hindsight's always 2020.
I was like, this was the much faster way to get somewhere that I was wanting to go, and where I had to live, it's not fucking cheap in California at that time either. Especially up in the Sacramento, San Francisco area, it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And so that was the best part about it, was knowing that, hey, me and 3 other guys from high school are moving out to California. One, he actually ended up moving to Nashville, and he's now a recording artist because he went up there for music, and we actually played together. I played piano back.
No talent in that one, huh?
But he ended up doing that. But I mean, there in California, where he figured, hey, I'll go out to California and get big there. No, he got into too much drugs, and he had to leave and go to Nashville, and that's where he actually made it.
Sweet.
But
party with that guy.
I think it's weird to say that this is the first year where minor league teams had to cover the housing for their players. Like, they're not paying them enough to afford proper housing, but they also don't have to provide it to them either. Like, the fact that this is the first year that's happened is just absolutely ridiculous.
The Giants, the San Jose Giants, they have host families where the players live with the families.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that helps. That helps with their cost of living expenses.
That's better than nothing. I mean, honestly, most of those guys, because if baseball is their job, they just need a bed to sleep in when they're home, because during the day they're working out, they're going through their training routines.
You have to do all this other stuff because you have no time to work.
No
time at all.
I mean, the Dodgers camp system has already improved. I mean, Yasiel Puig came over on an inflatable raft. So like they were, they're like flying and playing. Yes, that's 100% true. That's a real thing.
True.
Yasiel Puig came over on an inflatable raft. Like, so the Dodgers, weren't doing real great with the transportation at the time. They were like, yeah, just get on it, I guess. And the wind blows it over there. But
this direction.
Yeah, he was from Cuba. So like, yeah, he just
points in the right direction, hope for the best.
I'm making fun of the Dodgers because they didn't. He was from Cuba, so they didn't actually have him in a camp. But their transportation sucks. No, but yeah, they've obviously improved it.
I think anything that can slow down. Jake, you saw it firsthand. I covered baseball, the minor leagues, Major League Baseball for 10 years plus. I spent a season in the minor leagues covering the San Jose Bees back then for an entire season, riding the buses and all that. Behind the guy that's running the show, it's a business, and it's a brutal business, and it's a machine, and all it does is it takes in and spits out.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that can slow that machine down and give rights to these players, I am all for.
It's a sifting machine, kind of, Craig. It sifts
out.
It
is.
It sifts out It sifts out the gold. It's a gold sifting machine.
Without remorse.
Yep.
One day they want you, the next day you're done.
Next day you're gone.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna, gold. You know what I'm saying? Wander Franco, gold. Everything else that fucking went with them, sand. Fell right through.
Those guys represent 1% of all the minor league ball players that make it to the show.
Yep. Bro, those two guys represent 0.00 some percent. Those two guys in particular are 0.00. Those guys are fucking generational talents. Those guys are not even the ones who just make it. Like, they're not Jay Buners. They don't just make it. They are the 0.001. Like, they're the elite, which makes it even more. I mean,
anybody that puts on a major league uniform, I don't care if they're up there for one day.
Stud.
They made it. They beat the odds.
That's Stefan, who was going to be with us tonight, but ended up he's at a Hops game tonight.
Stud.
mad respect for that dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he pitched in one major league outing and got injured. Still mad respect for him because he made it. He made it farther than most people ever do.
Yep.
Dude, me and Seven say regularly on this show, dude, if you have ever played an actual professional sport in that league, you're a freak. Like, you're a freak athlete. Like, you're the creme de la creme, cream of the crop. You're the greatest. Like, you are the greatest physical top of the line.
Yep.
There's a guy that I used to work with. He quit his job. His name is Jeff Cook, and he played for he was drafted by the Kansas City Kings back when the Kings were still in Kansas City. I think it was their last year, and then he ended up playing with a few different teams. Played with the Suns a couple of times, but had a 9 or 10 year NBA career. And I told him, I was just talking one day. I was like, mad respect. I said, there are going to be people like, oh, well, now you're an insurance agent. That's just what he wants to do. It's just something to do for him.
He's still playing the NBA.
See, and that's one thing I love about baseball to itself is that there are a lot of players that you can play the sport for a very long time. It's not like how you mentioned, when it comes down to the physical aspect of a person, football. How long do those guys have a career? Not very long.
A year and a half tops.
yeah. Their career, it really isn't much of anything. That's the nice thing I like about baseball is, you can be a fucking ball player for 15, 20 years. I mean, are you
talking about in the pros? Like in the actual, in the show?
In the show.
Well, I mean, LeBron James is 18 years now. So
it's one out of how many NBA players that can do it?
NBA players are usually 12, 13 if you're legit. If you're a legit veteran, 12, 13.
But it's also not much of a physical sport.
What's that?
Basketball is not much of a physical sport.
Neither is baseball.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The ones that aren't as physical. You look at football, and you guys got only 4 years in the damn sport. Then you're dead.
Yeah, the only thing that basketball is like joints and stuff. Obviously because they're jumping. Like, it's a lot of jumping and like joints, a lot of running, and things like jumping, that. Yeah, baseball's obviously things like you had like. Baseball's a lot of things like you had like tendons and weird movements and like repeated movements are a lot of the stuff. So like like in baseball you get worn. It's like almost you get worn down, and then
over time.
And then football, it's just fucking car crashes. Just fucking it's like you might just get car crash one day and just break your ankle. That's it.
Well, and you look at linemen both on the offensive and defensive side, and even some of your linebackers. Like if you look at those guys' actual body composition, they're clinically obese. Like from a clinical standpoint, those guys are clinically obese.
They're obese.
And then they're going through.
They can still run fucking fast too.
They're great athletes.
It's like a fucking bear.
And that's why they're freaks of nature, is because despite statistically, if you look at this guy that's this size and this many pounds, like, oh, he shouldn't weigh that much. But guess what? He's in top shape to be in the NFL because that's what's required. They want you to put some of that on to reduce the damage on your body. But the truth of the matter is, on the other side of it, it's harder on your organs for that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that's why so many of these guys in the NFL don't have long careers. Tom Brady having his long career is such a freak situation. It's just because he has been able to, he hasn't had to.
He's an athlete good enough to avoid fucking getting sacked constantly. He's got a line and block for him.
And
he's able to get rid of the ball quick faster before he can get hit.
And
he can't be touched anymore either. The rules change.
That's what I was going to say, Craig.
They can play forever.
The other piece of it is he doesn't have to play overweight. He can be in a peak physical shape, lean, muscularly lean, taking care of his organs, stuff like that. Those guys on the line, when's the last time you saw somebody that plays for the offensive or defensive line or even a linebacker hit 15 years in the NFL?
That happens all the time. Hit 15 years?
15 years.
Tyron Smith's like at 13 right now. And he just blew his knee out, but
Tyron Smith, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
quarterbacks don't get touched. Like Craig said, quarterbacks don't get touched.
The limited amount of games that are being played. They don't play that many games.
Right. And that's the other thing that helps them. That's why players are so against adding more games to the schedule. And they made the NFL take preseason games off for adding the regular season games that they're adding to the schedule, is because the more games you add, the harder it is on them and the shorter careers are going to be.
It is easier, Seven, to have a longer career as an offensive lineman than it is in any other position other than quarterback.
Why do you say that?
Because they're
Well,
not
'cause you stand still.
because they're not taking impact shots all the time. Running
No, they
backs
stand
per
straight up
se
and-
have these running
Okay.
backs
And hold.
have
and
That's
the
fair.
move.
No, that's fair.
lowest shelf life. Running backs have the lowest shelf life of any player in the NFL. It's about 2.5 years, depending on what it's because they every single time they get taken to the ground that they touch the ball, it's impact to the ground. Safeties are another one because every time a safety is in on a play, you are impact to the ground, right? Receivers don't really play that long. Tight ends definitely don't play that long because they're like a lineman and a receiver at the same time.
Right.
But linemen, and not saying their job is not incredibly physical because they're physical. They're always in a dude's face. It's always like this, but they don't take full speed impacts almost every time they touch the ball. It's like they just
you're
stand
right.
up,
I'll give you. Okay.
right? I mean,
All right. I
some of the
stand
longest
corrected.
tenured guys are always offensive linemen because what's his name? The Andrew Whitworth, the Rams left tackle. They won the Super Bowl last year.
Okay.
He's 6'6". He's about 6'6", 280. Not real fat, he looks like an accountant. He doesn't even look muscular for real. He doesn't even look muscular, but he's strong and he's lean. And he learned how to play in just left tackle. It's just that, the backing up thing, right? And he's just quick on his feet for being 6'7", whatever the fuck he is. He's huge, and like that weight is there for like moving people too, obviously.
When the NFL owners conceded to get rid of drop down to 3 preseason games, that was a huge victory for the players because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the entire time you're in training camp, you're not paid.
Nope.
You're not paid. Not one nickel. You're not paid. You don't make your first check until you break camp, and then that's and you're on the roster. Then you'll get your first check. So by knocking off that one preseason game, that fast forwarded those checks.
Right. You're obviously not speaking for the guys who are established veterans because those guys have money left over from last year, I'm sure. But you're talking about the young guys.
I'm talking about the players that are signed out of college
on the bubble,
the first training camp. But there's no checks. There is no checks either for the established players. I mean, Brady doesn't get a check.
There's a signing bonus though.
No,
that's
their check is for their previous year. You want to stay?
Yes, here. They're not being paid anything during. I covered the Niners for 5 years.
Not during, but there's a signing.
Not during and not for it. It's the fact that they're getting paid for. Hey, you signed another year for us, or you signed another contract.
Or they have a 3-year contract. Yes, they have a 3-year contract, Dan. But
their contract's done and nobody wants them. You ain't getting paid anything.
They don't make any money during training camp. They don't have your Joe Montana or what. They don't make any money. There's no money being made during training camp.
You're not making any money, but what the teams do is guys will get like an advance on the year's salary,
signing bonus.
They'll get like or they have a signing.
Not
bonus.
all of them.
Some of them.
They all do now. It's about the lowest they'll go is about 10-15K, but they all do. They go up to Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft, got a $27 million signing bonus. So it goes from about 10,000 to about 27.5, 30 million.
It's and I think really what that bonus is that's just to kind of give you a little taste, tide you over, makes that way once you make it to week 1, you start getting them game checks.
Craig, I'm not calling you incorrect, by the way. They don't get actually paid during training camp, but you would think that you could probably save, $27 million for like 3 months.
Yeah, well, no, of course. I'm talking about the kids that came right out of college that signed their contract. Nothing. Right. The contract's not guaranteed. Part of it, the bonuses, the signing bonus is the only thing that's guaranteed. The actual contract is not guaranteed.
Right.
Not until they've completed camp and they've made the roster.
Right. You were just making it sound like they just didn't have any money from the team at all, though. Like they do. There's money from the team.
Yeah.
No, they're not getting like paid during. I see what you're saying. They're not actually like actively getting paid while they're in training camp. I see.
They're not filling out the timesheet for workouts and training.
I get what We're on the same. We're on the same page.
Yes.
We're on the same page.
Okay.
Hey, Craig, I have a real quick, Craig. Serious question. Why have you not done LSD? You never even got offered it? Nobody ever offered you to drop acid?
Oh yeah, I was offered various items, but no, just never. No.
It's okay to say this because I was very scared before I did it the first time. Did it scare you a little bit for real? Like did it scare you a little bit because you thought like you heard like people having bad trips and shit?
Nope, I made a decision long time ago that I was never going to do drugs. Never.
Good job.
But LSD's not a drug, bro. No. We're not gonna. You don't get to cop out. You don't get to cop out and do this shit. No, you don't get to cop out. I didn't ask you if you did fucking meth, Craig. I didn't ask you if you smoke crack. I said, did you do LSD? That's a whole different thing.
No,
that's not a drug. LSD is not a drug. Neither are psychedelic mushrooms, and neither is marijuana. Those aren't drugs. Those are mind escapers. Those are fucking those are people advancers.
He said no, Dan. It's okay. All right. Before we wrap up tonight,
Craig's wearing a Dare shirt behind that thing.
So before we wrap up tonight, any final thoughts?
Love you, Craig.
Jake, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts tonight, buddy?
No, not really. I mean, you guys are great guys. That's nice. But
thanks.
It's
I'm gonna cry.
It's yeah, it takes me back. I mean, I love baseball. Always have, always will. From a kid, Dad wanted me to fucking be a Dodger. Hate fucking Dodgers with a passion because of him. Just like I hate the Cowboys with a fucking passion because of him.
I like you, Jake. I like
everybody
you.
Does.
I like you.
But and then to see, I mean, just actually, I meant to say it. Our pedophile got 16 Ks tonight.
Oh, he did?
16 Ks tonight.
Oh, okay.
Our pedophile, Strider.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that is a total. Okay. So for clarification,
looks like a pedophile.
He's not an actual pedophile.
He's not an actual
mustache. That's a pedophile mustache.
Jake, and the only reason we're clarifying that is we talk about pedophiles on this show a lot, and we talk about actual pedophiles a lot. We're not pedophiles, but we talk about people who like sexual abusers a lot, especially Deshaun Watson's been.
I'm sorry, yes, the Strider just needs to shave that.
The molestache. You're talking about the molestache.
Molestache, but he is still my case
tonight. It's ridiculous.
National League Rookie of the Year, Spencer Strider.
For sure.
He fucking deserves it. Seriously. All right, man. Jake, thank you so much for joining me. And I've been trying to get you on. I'm glad we were able to make that hop. Those of you guys want Jake is actually going to be getting married in October. Congratulations to him.
Congratulations, man.
Saw his soon-to-be bride, Tessa, peek in to get some cigarettes earlier. But thank you again for joining us. Craig, any final thoughts tonight, buddy?
Nah, I'm tired, man. This is fun.
I wear Craig down.
You do. You do. You wear a lot of people down.
You gave a lot to think about tonight. So
right.
All right, and Dan, for you.
I just had one thing, and it was Craig. Did you ever shrooms?
No,
did you ever try?
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I will mute his ass.
I've always had jobs where I had to be drug tested.
Right.
All the jobs where I had to be drug tested, man. So no, never thought of it.
They ain't tested for psychedelics.
Everything.
Dan.
Definitely. Like it's weird because weed, not like pretty common, right? Stays in your system like the longest, right? Cocaine's out in your system like 48 hours. Yeah, cocaine's out of your system like 48 hours. Weed, if it's your first time, probably like 3 weeks. Cocaine's out of your system 48, 72 hours.
If you fail a piss test for cocaine, you did cocaine within 4 hours of you taking that piss
before
test.
You peed, like off the back of the toilet that you peed into. Yeah. That's how much you have to. Yeah. Weird.
THC stays in your hair for 6 months. Just to let you know.
Fat soluble. Yeah, it's fat soluble, so it doesn't. Yeah,
a lot of THC in these locks.
Oh, there's a lot of THC in this beard right here. It smells like weed. Right, my upper lip smells like weed.
No, I
wish I had it. Like
trying to lick a skunk's asshole earlier.
I wish I had it like that for real.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. For those of you watching, thank you very much. If you are catching this after on Spotify, please don't forget to go check us out on Facebook, Sports Report and Sports Report After Dark. We are happy to hear from you and hear what you want to hear us talk about. For now, we will see you next week on Thursday at
Free
10
Fernando
Eastern on the Sports Report channel and Sports Report Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great night.
Free Fernando Tatis. Free him. Let him do the roids.
Never answer, no, man, I still go.